At only 16 years old, the girl dressed herself in a sophisticated and glamorous manner. Although she is very reluctant, she walks to her guests with a smile on her face. The next evening, on her way home, a black car pulls up in front of her. The man came up and slapped the girl. The man asked her what she had done with the customer. Then the man dragged the girl to the car. Alan tried to stop him, but because the man had a gun in his hand, he could only watch as the girl was taken away. Alan is a Black Ops commando. His life of violence and danger had left him exhausted. To get away from the group, Alan faked his own death. He went into hiding and worked as a porter in a shopping mall. Every evening, Alan would come into the pub, order a hot cup of tea, and sit in the corner reading. It was here that he met Mary, a sex worker. In this girl's body, Alan saw her resignation to her fate. 2 days later, Alan learns from the tavern owner Mary had been seriously injured and was in hospital. Alan rushed to the hospital, seeing Mary with someone by her side. He didn't bother to go in. When Mary's friend came out, Alan asked her about Mary. It turned out that Mary had been insulted 2 days before when she was working with a client. Mary got angry and hit her partner. The owner was furious when he found out the boss had beaten Mary badly. He warned her that if she did it again, he would cut out her tongue. Looking at the record Mary had given her, Alan decided to do something about it. He found Mary's boss. He gave his life savings of $9,800. He wants to buy Mary's life, but all he got in return was a lot of ridicule. They would rather throw Mary away like a piece of trash than give her her freedom. Alan put the money away with a grimace. He thrust the skull on the table at them. He turned and walked to the door and closed and locked it. He looked around coldly. Everything in the room was now in his eyes. The glasses, the daggers, the gun, the corkscrew all became his weapons of choice. Alan calculated his time. He presses the timer and walks slowly towards the other side. Alan takes out everyone quickly. It only took him 28 seconds. Alan sat down in front of the dying boss. Alan said to him coldly that you should have taken the money. Little did Alan know, the boss he killed was actually just a small-time member of the Russian mob. The mob boss learns that one of his men has been killed. He immediately sent Tom the hitman to investigate. And this man is no slouch either. The girl is pressed against the man's chair. From her mouth, the man learns that Alan had visited Mary in hospital. After strangling the girl, Tom came to Alan's house posing as a policeman. Although he was very well disguised, Alan saw the flaw right away. How did you find me? I paid cash and I didn't have a reservation. So how did you find me? That's our job. Sir, who are we? We find the people who need to be found. Both men realized they had met their match this time. In the evening, Alan came to the tavern to read his book as usual. At that moment, an electrician walked in. Alan could tell right away that he was a killer. Your hands if you really work. The power lines down the ends wouldn't look like that, I know. We gotta be waiting for somebody else. Seeing that his cover was blown, the other man did pull out his gun. Alan took care of him quickly. Alan uses his knife and fork to create a short circuit to block the view of the killers outside. He walks out of the restaurant and graciously takes a picture of Tom's face. Alan enters a side street and disappears. If they come after him, then you'll never come back. Alan returned home to treat his wounds. The killers followed him, but when they opened the bathroom door, there was only the sound of running water from the faucet. Alan had been prepared. He was hiding in a safe place, watching them. The killers found airsickness pills and book tickets in Alan's house. They concluded that Alan had run away. But Tom recognized it as a trap. He's not going anywhere. His watches, with nothing to find. They have to leave for now. Alan finds an old friend and asks them to help him find out who Tom is. Soon the friends come back with information. It turns out that Tom had served in the Russian Special Forces. He's as shrewd as he is ruthless. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, he went into civilian life. Tom now works for the Russian mob. He won't stop until he kills you and any. In order to take down the mob's nest in America, Alan found a bribed cop. He punched the cop and handcuffed him to his car. Then he slammed the door and started the car. The exhaust was pouring into the car through a pipe. The cop soon loses his grip. He gave Alan the location of the gang's base. The two men then went to the base. There were gunmen all over the place. A lot of cash was just piled up on the floor. The workers had to push it around on carts. Alan tried to get rid of them by pretending to be new, but they didn't take kindly to it, and they pointed their guns at Alan. With Alan's intimidation, the workers were soon dispersed. Alan found evidence of the mob's bribery of officials in the safe. He sent it all to the FBI. Then Alan went to a fancy restaurant. He confronted Tom directly. Brick by brick, dollar by dollar, body by body. Or, you can call your boss and tell him to shut down his operation. Later in the evening, Alan finds out from his files that the mob is using purse companies to smuggle crude oil. He went straight to the trading dock. Alan blows up the entire oil plant. Billions of dollars were wiped out in an instant. The boss learns that the plant has been destroyed. He immediately called Tom and told him to kill Alan at all costs. Tom tried to force Alan to show himself. Tom kidnapped his colleague and threatened to kill everyone in less than 30 minutes. He would kill everyone. Alan hung up the phone and took the bus to the mall. But there was no one on the bus.
When you see him, shoot him.
There was only a call forwarding phone. Just as the killer was about to kill a hostage, music suddenly started playing in the mall. The killer couldn't figure out what was going on. The killer brings Jimmy, the security guard, to the radio room to check it out. The killer had just turned off the microphone. Alan appeared out of nowhere. Soon another killer comes to check it out. Alan tells Jimmy to draw attention to him. Then he attacks from behind. Alan takes out another one with a single punch. Tom realizes something is wrong. He leads the two killers to the warehouse. Alan cuts the power immediately. He turned out the lights in the area. The door to the warehouse closes automatically. A game of cat and mouse begins immediately. Alan spreads sand on the floor. A killer walks by and looks at his feet. Alan just looks on coldly. He makes sure he's dead before turning away. Another killer finds the place. He sees blood on the ground. He looked upwards. Suddenly a spear pierces his neck. Alan was about to step forward and take the weapon away, but he was spotted by Tom and shot in the shoulder. Alan ducked for safety. He presses a red iron bar with a gun directly onto the wound to stop the bleeding. Have you ever seen such a hardcore approach? The killer is still searching in the dark. A power drill is suddenly pressed against his head behind him. Alan encounters another bearded killer, but he's too strong. Alan almost screws up. Luckily, he picks up a shard of glass in advance and takes out the bearded man with a slash. Alan timed it so that Jimmy would run to the electrical box and open the mains. He then distracted the last killer. Just as Jimmy closed the switch, all power was instantly restored. The killer suddenly heard movement from behind him. He turned around and was blown away by Alan's custom-made bomb. Tom arrives in the switch room with a gun in his hand. Jimmy saw that there was no way out. He raises his gun and prepares to die with him. In the nick of time, a steel nail penetrates Tom's arm. Alan arrives with his nail gun just in time to save the day. Without waiting for Tom to say anything, Alan fired 3 shots in quick succession, disabling Tom's arms and legs. Alan didn't answer. He finished Tom off with a single shot. To save the day, Alan went to the residence of the Black Boss in Moscow. He staged an accident that killed the boss by electrocution. The whole gang was eliminated by Alan alone. Shortly afterwards, Mary was released from hospital. She finds Alan again. Looking at the different girl from before, Alan was relieved. The same tavern at night, the same place. Ellen opens her computer and replies to each email. It was full of requests from strangers. It seems that Alan's quest for justice continues.